speaking of machines and questionable usages of them, I used to work at a bakery, and in this bakery, it had an industrial-sized oven. And in these industrial-sized ovens, how they work is they are big, like, same size as my closet, basically. They're walk-in. You open a big swinging door, and there's a big rotating platform in the middle. There's heating elements all around the walls and the ceiling. There's a hatch in the ceiling, and there's handlebars in the back. What you do is you roll these big trolleys with a billion trays on them in there, and you can stick about 4 of them in there, and then you can walk out, you close it, and you lock it. Someone in my province recently, she was 19 years old a few days ago. It was just as the voting closed. It was all over the news. She was working at a bakery like the one I worked at. And it was the exact same model of oven. And she got locked in there. And she was baked alive. They found her hours later. They're suspecting foul play because you can't lock yourself in those things. They are designed to not be able to do what happened to her. It's like a fucking saw trap. And I used to joke when I worked at the bakery, like, haha, I could just walk in there and it's a saw trap. But it's not even supposed to activate when people go in there. Like, it's... To be fair, fail-safes do break, and I do remember that, like, there was always, like, somebody coming to repair it, crawling in the ceiling of the oven and opening the hatch and fiddling with shit. So maybe it was busted, but people are currently suspecting foul play, and I'm just sitting there like, holy shit, she's the same age that I was when I was working at an identical bakery using an identical machine. I think this was in a Walmart bakery specifically. So the whole Walmart got shut down. Holy fuck. Can you imagine being the manager, coming in the next day and finding the corpse of a 19-year-old girl in your oven? How large are the ovens? I'd say if you got, like, a human, like a normal-sized adult human, you could squish about 8 of them in a circle tightly in there and 1 in the middle, 1 or 2 in the middle. Like, you could squish a lot of people in there. That's how big these ovens are. Yeah... You can walk into the walk-in freezers that are the same size or bigger and survive the night if you have a jacket. Hell, even if you don't have a jacket, it might be difficult, but there's ways to make it out of there alive. And it's not as painful after a while because unlike burning alive, where you feel every single fucking moment of it, freezing, your nerves actually stop working after a point. So it's less painful to freeze to death because eventually you just numb. And it's slower, and it's easier to survive. If you're in an oven, you have very short window of time. And that's another thing, too. Like, there's no way she could have done it herself because you can't have those ovens turned on when the door is open. Like, you have to, like, when you close it, you have to physically manually do the touchscreen stuff to turn the oven back on. So even if it was at peak heat when she opened it, walked in, pushed something in there, and it accidentally closed behind her, the heat would still dissipate. She'd be very badly burnt, but she wouldn't die. Like, there's no way, unless somebody was physically pushing the buttons outside, that she should have died. Unless she was, like, extremely asthmatic, and then the heat, like, maybe wrecked her lungs, but she didn't die from breathing bad. She died from being burnt to a fucking crisp, like in a saw trap. There's been rumors that particular oven had been complained about for years, and nothing was ever done. Holy shit. Why does your place of living seem like the capital of crime? That reminds me of the Harvest Time Bakery accident, where 2 workers were baked alive in the oven. It wasn't cooled down correctly. Talking about bacon people? Oven killer be winning. It's kind of freaky how close it was to Halloween.